A couple of days ago, Broadsword did a live stream where they revealed Update 7.4, Chains in the Dark, for Star Wars The Old Republic. Now, I'd say the stream went pretty much as I'd expected, but before we get into any of that, I know a lot of us, including me, were very interested in what might be coming after 7.4. And while we didn't get a lot of details, Keith did address the game's future.
We recently reviewed our roadmap within Broadsword and are already working on 7.4.1 through 7.6, all of which is slated to release over the next year or so. We're also defining all of the updates for 2025 and beyond, and we look forward to sharing more of that vision with you, and along with what's happening throughout the game. You'll be hearing from me fairly soon about that.
And in her segment, Ashley Rule, the game's narrative director, did assure us that we would continue to get narrative content.
First off, I just really wanted to say that we're really excited to keep bringing you narrative content for this update and future updates. Nothing is changing on that front. And we're really excited to show you what's coming after 7.4 eventually. There's so many great moments and character moments and a lot of really cool choices. And we're thrilled that we get to keep sharing this story with all of you.
And hopefully this means that the main story at least will still be voiced and presented in the cinematic format that we're used to. Though I suspect the secondary stories, like the ones for the daily zones and events and the like, will still be unvoiced. But of course that's just speculation. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's move on to what we do know. And let's start with the basics. As I've already mentioned, this update is titled Chains in the Dark, and it will have us heading back to Ord Mantell. Yes, even Empire characters can go back there because the story takes place in an entirely new area. Now, we still don't have an exact release date for the update, but it's slated for the holidays, so you can expect sometime in early December. However, a lot of the changes coming to 7.4 will be on the PTS before that. Not the story, that's never there because they don't want any spoilers, but a lot of the other things you'll be able to find there. They were hopeful the test server would be up and running by today, October 20th, but if not, probably sometime next week. Now let's take a look at exactly what some of those changes will be. Of course, we'll be getting some new story, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but first I'll quickly recap some of the other features coming to 7.4 in case you've missed them. First up, we'll be getting a new daily zone. Once the Chains in the Dark storyline is complete, Kessen's Landing, where the story takes place, will become a new daily area, with all of the activities you'd expect from a daily zone. There'll be repeatable missions, a new reputation track, and vendor with a lot of new things like mounts, armor sets, decos, and the like. Of course, there'll also be a bunch of new achievements. On top of that, there'll be a new world boss. His name is Freedom, and he's been reprogrammed by the Separatists to spread their message and to kill anyone who doesn't comply with that message. They also mentioned there would be a secret quest line that will take us across the galaxy and will unlock some new tech that will apparently be very helpful in Kessen's Landing. Now, maybe it's something to do with the volcano, I don't really know because they didn't really say. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. However, they did show off a little bit of the new area and it looks pretty neat. Speaking of making things easier, they are also raising the gear ceiling in 7.4. As you can see from the slide, the highest rated gear will now be 344, most other gear will be 340, while PvP will move up to 336. Apart from the higher rating, there are also a few other notable changes coming to gearing, one of which is you will no longer receive implants rated higher than 336 from bosses and crates. This is apparently so people can focus on their legendary implants and not upgrading regular ones. There will also be another achievement for equipping 2 340 legendary implants, which will make your next implants cheaper. They also said that with 7.4 they were going to start making artifact level gear, that is the purple gear, more accessible. So you'll be able to get it from content other than operations. Now, they didn't elaborate on this too much, but he did say that master chapters would start dropping the OP1 currency. They also said there would be a second way to get purple gear, but they couldn't talk about it right now. However, they did leave us with this hint. So yeah, I don't exactly know what this means, but it looks like that maybe everyone will be able to somehow get their hands on purple gear now. And of course, hide and seek will still be available, and they'll offer gear up to rating 340. I'm not super thrilled about another gear grind, but I guess we all knew it was bound to be coming sometime. Now let's move on to a more fun topic and talk about Life Day. There will be Wookiee hugging, snowball throwing, and a few new items on the Life Day vendor. Last year they gave us a new hat. This year it's a new armor set. They were pretty proud of it. I'm not sure what I think about it, but I'll probably buy it since I have nearly 5,000 parcels. And don't forget that the winning entries for the best view in SWTOR will be turned into stronghold decorations and will be available on the anniversary vendor. We got a look at the finalists on the stream and there's some pretty great screenshots there. Now, apart from new playable content, the game will also be getting some technical improvements. One of the things they were most excited to show off was the cinematic lighting improvements. They said that they started adding these in with 7.3 in just a few places, but with 7.4 they'll be turning it on for all the game. They showed some side-by-side screenshots of early game cinematics with and without the new lighting, and I gotta say, it's quite an improvement. It's really nice to see them still making these kinds of technical improvements to the game. 7.4 will also see the big revamp of the GTN that they've been talking about for a few months now. I'm gonna have to take some of these changes for a test drive on the PTS, but some of the changes sound really nice, especially the ones to do with stacks of items. If you're a seller, all you have to do is enter the unit price, and the game will do the rest of the math for you and set the price for the entire stack. If you're a buyer, and all you want to do is buy 10 items, but all you can find is a stack of 100, you won't have to buy the whole stack. You'll be able to buy just the 10 you need. That's right, we'll finally be able to buy partial stacks. And another really neat change is that you don't have to wait to get your money in the mail. You can collect it right from the GTN's claim page. So some really nice quality of life changes there. And of course, there'll be new Cartel Market items. The ones they showed off here were inspired by the Ahsoka TV series. They'll also be offering some new dyes on the Cartel Market. Apart from offering new color combinations, these dyes will also allow you to make your armor either metallic and shiny or matte. Alright, so now let's talk story. And I'll be talking about the things that the devs shared on the live stream, but if you don't want to know anything about the story before you go into it, well, I'll say goodbye to you, and thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next time. But if you're sticking around, let's dive in. 7.4's main story, Chains in the Dark, begins with our characters helping Ras Ordo track down Hedda Cult. But at some point, the hidden chain reveals itself by indiscriminately attacking worlds across the galaxy. Jakaya will contact our characters and ask for help on Ord Mantell. Apparently, the hidden chain is planning an assault there, and he feels it's too risky for a bunch of Mandalorians to be stomping across the Republic world. So our characters will head to Ord Mantell to Kessen's Landing, a completely new area designed for 7.4. There we'll have to work with the locals in order to uncover the hidden chain and their nefarious plans. We can just hope they don't ask us to mow their lawns and clean their toilets. They're also bringing back a couple of NPCs from the Ord Mantell planet quests. I honestly don't remember them because it's been ages since I've done the planet quest on Ord Mantell, but I do have characters who did those, so hopefully they'll recognize them and we'll get some fun interactions. Of course, we'll see the Ordo brothers, and Republic characters will be traveling with Arn, while Imperial characters will get Darth Krovos. Along with the Chains in the Dark storyline, we will also be catching up with Lane Vizsla again. She's still looking into how to fix the little Basilisk war droid, and she's gonna ask our help. She's gonna want us to track down a guy who calls himself the Curator. He's a droid expert, who in turn is going to ask us to track down an HK-24 model droid. These droids were developed centuries ago by Zerka Corporation, and though they look a lot like the HK-47 model, apparently they're nothing like them. However, they apparently do share that model's destructive nature because they caused some chaos, and most of them were destroyed and then subsequently outlawed. So these are very rare models, and that's what we'll be having to find for the Curator. And that's all we know about that. So as you can see, there'll be quite a lot of story coming with 7.4. It's just unfortunate that it still seems to mostly be centered on the Mandalorians and their civil war. A storyline that, to be honest, I think has gone on way too long, but then of course that's just me because I'm not fond of Mandalorians. It's nice to be going back to another base game planet to see what it's like now in the current storyline. Ord Mantell does seem like a strange choice though. I say this because Jakaya's reasoning for asking the PC to go to Ord Mantell is because he doesn't want to cause trouble with the Republic by sending Mandalorians to the planet. And that makes perfect sense. However, I'm not sure it's any better to send an Imperial character. After all, the Empire and Republic are at war. So you think that would be a pretty risky move, especially if we're talking about one of the Sith characters. During the stream, they sort of hand-waved this by saying that the Republic presence on Ord Mantell wasn't what it was when we were there the first time. The war with the Separatists is over, so the Republic has sort of pulled back its support. As a result, the people of Kessen's Landing are a little distrustful of the Republic now, so they won't care if they see a Sith running around. But if that's the case, and they really don't care who comes to their planet because they don't care about the Republic anymore, why then would they be upset if they saw Mandalorians? I hope it doesn't come off as me being overly negative here. That's not at all what I want to do. This really is the first thing that popped into my head when they said we'd be going back to Ord Mantell as an Imperial character. But of course, I'm always glad to get more story, and hopefully we'll be making a lot of good progress this time. And it's great to know they have more story stuff planned for the future. Overall, I guess I'd say I'm looking forward to a lot of the changes that are coming with 7.4, especially some of the changes to the GTN and the technical improvements that they're making to the game. And I'll definitely be hopping onto the PTS to check them out. And with that, I think I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, why not like and subscribe for more stuff like this? And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.